This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans, and this is the start of the international window because this is the squad reaction show. It's Lansdowne Roar. Hello and welcome to Lansdowne Roar and to the squad reaction show. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast and, of course, Connor McAvoy. Just before we get started, folks, a bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Scan that QR code. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And if you want opinion, head over to lansdowneroar.ie. That is lansdowneroar.ie. And, of course, Connor is doing God's work over on Twitter with RepTrack. If you want to find out the latest about the current Boys in Green and the future Boys in Green, that is the place to go. And of course, we just want to give a shout out to our affiliates, and just don't want to get into trouble with YouTube. But these are non-paid affiliates, by the way, non-paying affiliates. And of course, we want to give a shout out to the London Irish Centre, doing fantastic work for the less fortunate Irish in London. And of course, the Claddagh Ring in Hendon, which is a fantastic pub. And if you do want to throw a few quid our way, do head over to coffee, buy us a coffee, Lansdowne Road. Just scan that QR code if you will. Right, enough of the flagellation. Is that the right word? We're going to get into it. The squad was announced today. Heimer Hallgrimsson has announced the squad with one or two little surprises and a little bit of controversy, as always seems to be the way these days. We're going to go through the squad first, and then we're going to talk about it. So here we go. We're going to go with the goalies. No surprise there. Caoimhín Gallagher, named Liverpool's number one at the moment. Of course, Mark Travers, who's playing really well for Bournemouth, and Max O'Leary for Bristol City. Still no Gavin Bazunu. He is out injured, and we don't know when he's going to be back. On to the defenders. Seamus Coleman returns to skipper. Hasn't played a lot of football for Everton this season so far. Darragh O'Shea, of course, of Ipswich Town. Nathan Collins of Brentford. I will change that picture of Darragh O'Shea. Liam Scales, Celtic man, not playing too much for Celtic at the moment. He's back in the squad. Shane Duffy makes a return, having a decent season of it at Norwich. Mark McGuinness of Luton Town. He still hasn't played yet. Callum O'Dowda, Martin's favourite. He gets into the squad ahead of Ryan Manning. We'll be talking about that, I assure you, Mr. Prendergast, afterwards. Some weird noises coming out over there. Right, onto the midfield. Josh Cullen, of course, of Burnley. He is in the squad. Jason Knight of Bristol City. And Jason Malumbi of West Brom. Finn Azaz, Connor's baby, Middlesbrough. He's in. And Andy Moran, welcome to the senior squad, Andy Moran. 5 midfielders, a bit light in the midfield there. And now we're going to talk about the attackers. We're quite heavy on the attackers. Evan Ferguson, will he add to his 16 caps? Of course he will, the Brighton man. Troy Power, of course, AZ Alkmaar. He is in. Adam Ida of Celtic, he is back. Tom Cannon returns to the squad. He's on a little bit of a purple patch at the moment, so good to see him there. Sammy Smotic, of course, he is back in the fold. Festy Ebisella down as a forward this time. That got a few comments today for Watford. Casey McAteer not playing a lot for Leicester City at the moment, but the manager fancies him. And Mikey Johnson of West Brom. And
when did Sinclair make the squad?
Sinclair Armstrong is not in the squad. But just make sure you're paying attention. Sorry, folks, that is a snafu. It happens.
Because he won a penalty the other night.
Yes. I wanted him in the squad. No, sorry, he was just part of the graphic there. Apologies on that, folks. So Sinclair Armstrong is not in the squad. So, lads, Connor, I'll start with you. Are you happy with the squad?
I would say I'm 90% happy. Like, I wasn't at this stage. You can't be too worried about the squad. Like, there's not much given out you can do, really. Kelleher doesn't look too happy with the squad himself in that picture, but there's 2 question marks in the defense. Well, one that's in the squad and one that's been left out. Obviously, the one in the squad is Shane Duffy, but Ryan Manning's the glaringly obvious one that's left out. I think maybe they just don't fancy him because he can't really defend that well, but can he defend worse than Callum O'Dowda? I highly doubt it. and but O'Dowd is playing well for Cardiff. But I thought when any Irish lad is playing regularly in the Premier League, they would get their chance in the squad. Obviously, he hasn't gotten one yet. Maybe if he continues to play until March, which is a long time away, he'll keep his place. Uh, there's not much else you can really say. I'm delighted Andy Moore's in the squad. He is the future of Irish football. Whether he's playing as a number 10, whether he's playing as a number 8, he is he's just magic. Like, so I'm delighted he can come into the
Yeah.
squad.
No, Martin, you happy?
Yeah, happy overall. I think it's not a bad squad. Shane Duffy was a little bit of a surprise, I suppose, coming back in there because some people we've been, you know, responsible for this in the past. We've been quite critical of players and probably ruling them out quicker when
Yeah.
they've still
Yes,
got a bit of
Martin.
time. You
Yes, Martin.
Oh, you
what
have,
did you say
Dave. You
about
have.
Shane
I
Duffy?
mean, you have.
You were very vocal about Shane
You
Duffy.
retired. You retired. Robbie Brady, I think.
Robbie Brady. And you know what? He's better for it. I
Yeah.
motivated Robbie
Yeah,
Brady.
you motivated
You
him.
just cast Shane Duffy out of it.
But it's just it was interesting, considering Heimer's press conference, the fact that he has said that we're looking to the future. This is the last experimental
Yeah.
squad he's going to be able to have. So Shane Duffy coming in there, I know there's injuries and things that he's probably compensating for, but I think it's a nice one. I think it's good to have Mark McGuinness in there because obviously sadly pulled out of the squad very late with injury after joining up with them last time. Delighted to see Callum back in there. He's played quite well for Cardiff, and I think he offers something different. Obviously, Robbie Brady missing, but I think it's quite interesting. I thought it was quite funny in the press conference when the press obviously asked a question about how we're so top heavy in attack, and he answered Heimer that that's how Kieran put it down. So fair play to Kieran for that. But yeah, look, I'm quite happy with it. We had a really good result over in Finland. We've made a few changes. We're suffering from some injuries now. Ogbene will be a loss undoubtedly, but it's interesting to see Andy Moore and Cannon in there. So I think it's exciting times. It's a new squad, isn't it? It's very fresh.
It is a bit fresh, actually. Happy to see Andy Moore in there. Logical. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Shane Duffy, I don't really know about that. Now, he did say about Duffy that he wanted him to come in for some time. He wants his leadership. Duffy. It's very late in the evening. I've had a very long day.
You know what? I am really disappointed John Giles didn't get picked out. Here we are.
I'm doing my best. I'm even adding players to the squad, lads. For fuck's sakes, give me a break. Shane Duffy, he said about him that he wanted him to come in for some time. He wants his leadership. He's quite steely centre back. With Duffy, he's not going to play out from the back, is he? He's sort of a last ditch defender, and also he's a goal scoring threat. He scored a few goals in his last few games for Norwich. So I kind of see it, but I don't know. I'd like to see us move on. But to be fair, he does have 5 injuries. Amabama Deli, Jamie McGrath apparently is injured. Robbie Brady, Ogbeni, and of course Jack Taylor. I don't know.
Smallbone.
Sorry, yes, and Will Smallbone. It's actually 6 injuries. Yeah, so I understand it to a degree why he has come in there. But of course, the big talking point is the absence of Matt Doherty. Now, Doherty did hint. Here's the quote. Here's the quote from his interview. The interview that apparently Hamer Halgrimsson has not read or heard anything about, which I doubt very much. But anyway, that's just my opinion. By the way, I have no way to back that up. That's my opinion. But anyway, it goes back to Matt Doherty's interview. We spoke about a few things. He thought it looked like, in his eyes, that he thought I felt disrespected in the last camp. This is on Matt Doherty being left out of the last squad. I said to him, yeah, I felt disrespected in the last camp because in the second game, Greece, he was playing a centre-back and right-back ahead of me, and that's not possible. So we spoke about it, and we're fine. So I should see them in November. Which kind of hints that he thought he'd be back in the squad in November. He is not, which is interesting. I was checking to see if Connor, his socials, if he was going to announce an international retirement, you felt that he probably would have done it beforehand if he was. But this must be the end of Matt Doherty now.
I think we might need a moment of silence for Matt Doherty's international career after what he's given to the country. Thank you. I respect that, lads. No, I don't really, guys, because I've seen a few things on Twitter saying, "Oh my God, celebrating Matt Doherty's been dropped again." But like, he's not. As much as we don't want him playing for Ireland anymore, it's not that bad. It's not like he's that bad. But maybe Dave thinks he is. But I'm not surprised that he's not been in the squad. The big thing I took from that presser today was Heimer said he hasn't spoken to Matt Doherty either. So Matt Doherty maybe was just expecting to be named on a list today at 12:30 and didn't get the time for the retirement post in first, because usually a manager would probably ring a player to say they're not in the squad if they are a so-called big name. But clearly Heimer thinks at the moment he is not playing enough to be in the squad. Like, he's done the same with Oma Bamidele and Jake O'Brien. And so, like, what can you even say on Matt Doherty anymore, really? It's just that he doesn't deserve to be in the squad. That the ego of saying he should be in it has to go, and he has to work his way back at club level, start playing for Wolves again if he wants to get back in the Ireland squad.
Yep. Martin, would you agree with that? I mean, he was asked by Nathan Murphy. Do you want to see him back in the squad? I hope so. Or
I don't necessarily want to see him back in the squad. I think we've got better options there now. You know, I think one of the things that will help Matt Doherty, ironically, is the absence of Ogbene, because it is that right hand side. Vestia Basele will get a chance now, and Seamus Coleman's age. There's no one else really coming through there, I suppose. So,
36.
I wouldn't rule him out from ever being in there again. But again, like Connor said, he's got to knuckle down. He's got to win his place back at Wolves. He's got to start playing consistently week in, week out. And I think probably put his ego in check completely, because, you know, that I didn't like that. You know, this is a new era for Ireland and the new manager. And I think it was putting undue pressure on him by saying, oh, well, I'm going to be back in November. We've got to move on. These big characters have got to earn the right to play for Ireland now. Robbie Brady did it when he's been left out in the past. Even Shane Duffy, you know, to be fair, he's been given an opportunity now in the back of performances. So I've got no problem with seeing him come back in there. We know what he's going to get from him. And I think also he will be a big goal threat from set pieces, which we're not going to have a lot of the ball against England. And I think that's going to be important. So quite happy with it overall, as I said. But I think Matt Doherty, he's got to go and have a look at himself now and just think, you know, if I really want to play for Ireland, then I feel I can offer something. I've got to knuckle down.
Sorry, lads. I think I need to interrupt on something first. That's actually important. That actually could bring Matt Doherty back in the squad. I don't know if you've seen earlier what Sean Dyche said that in the press conference that Seamus Coleman is out for this weekend and could possibly miss the international break, which makes me think that Coleman has said to Heimer that he would be ready to play next week. But obviously, if he's missing this weekend through a hamstring injury, and the club can always say, we're not letting you leave if you're injured, which could leave an opening for that right back to come back in.
What? So, okay, that's breaking. That's news, literally news to me as well. So that puts a little spin on things. So what happens, right? Because just a quick look at Matt Doherty here. According to Transfer Market, he has not played since the 15th of September. And that was a 2-1 loss, I think. No, win. What? 2-1 loss against Newcastle. That's irrelevant. I think it was a 2-1 loss. Yes, sorry, it was. And that was on the 15th of September, 2024. Played 13 minutes. Game before that, Forest, 1-1 draw, 15 minutes. Then the game before that, 90 minutes against Chelsea, 90 minutes against Arsenal. He has not played in the last 6 games for Wolverhampton. And he hasn't played for Ireland. Now, you're looking at that, you're the manager, you're thinking, And Doherty has said himself that to be at his best, he has to get into a rhythm. He has to be playing all these games. He has to play full 90 minutes. He's not getting anything at the moment. So what happens if you're Heimer and you see Seamus Coleman's out? Do you go for Manning? Because apparently Manning's very close, he said, about his... He was asked, why isn't Manning in the squad? And he said he's very close. I'm trying to find that. There was a comment here about him. Okay, I can't see it there, but he said something like he was just very, very close, Manning. He was close. We are monitoring him. That's what his comment was. That was the paraphrase. So if you're Heimer and Coleman's out, do you go for Doherty? Do you go for Manning? All bias aside.
Well, just one thing that's coming. I mean, like Coleman hasn't played a lot either. Let's put that context in there as well. He's not played a lot of minutes, so you know that's just something that is, I think, relevant to it. But we know that Seamus Coleman will come in and he'll do a job straight away he will come in.
They give you 100%.
And I think we could probably cope without Seamus Coleman. If it was really the big thing was the England game, you can cope without Seamus Coleman from that first game and see is he going to make the second game. Because even on his load, on his age, he sometimes does struggle to do the 2 games in the camp. So that's just something to bear in mind there. But yeah, I wouldn't put it. It's not unfeasible that Doherty will get in there. But again, I'd rather have Darragh O'Shea there, who I know is going to do what we need him to do and has played there consistently well the last few games. So I think that is why Darragh O'Shea is quite essential in this squad at the moment, because he is just adaptable. He gives a lot of flexibility of where he can play. I've seen him play left back. He's now played right back. He's just developing into that type of player for Ireland. And, again, that's going to set other players back behind him.
Yeah, and I think Coleman's last game, Dave, which you're probably going to say, was the England game at home.
Yes, and his last game for Everton was 90 minutes against Bournemouth. It
was before England game, was it?
On the 31st of August, and then he was out with a foot injury. He got injured, didn't he, on international duty, and he was out. So he's played one 90-minute game. With Coleman, this is probably going to be his last season as a professional footballer, because he seems to be quite injury prone. I'm not wishing that on him, but it just seems that he's very injury prone now.
I don't think so. I think his goal as a footballer is to play at the World Cup with Ireland, and I still think that is his driving force. Obviously, he loves Everton. Yeah, his obviously he loves Everton. Everton is him as a footballer and has made him to what he is today. But he's constantly speaking about getting back to major tournaments in Ireland.
He's constantly injured.
But as he said, he would step away when he feels he's no longer able to play at the level. But he's always been injured. Coleman's always struggled with injuries. Ever since he broke his leg, he's always been picking up. Like, how many international windows can you think of over the last 8 to 10 years that Coleman has missed through an injury? It has been a lot for your common Irish player. He has missed a lot of international breaks through injury, and I still think, because the thing is, the World Cup 2026 is 2 seasons basically. So I obviously think he'll probably assess the draw. I think that still is his goal, is to play the World Cup with Ireland.
I'm sure it is his goal, but I don't think he's going to get there. He's 36 now.
But that doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter now age, does it really? It does.
Well, it does if you can't. Lads, hello. He's played one 90-minute game all season.
I know that,
but and he's now injured again.
But he is such an important part of our squad.
I have him
without doubt.
I have him around the players. Like, don't get me wrong, the guy's a leader. But I'm just, and I hate saying this about a player. I really do. But it's like he's not playing.
He'll know how to manage his body and everything like that. And it's just unfortunate at the moment these little things are coming in. But I think he'll get used to doing that as well.
He's played one 90-minute game.
No, I know that. He's had a few injuries, and but I know that. But I'm just saying, I think he could easily go, if Ireland qualify for the World Cup, we could easily see him there going to the World Cup.
Sorry, right back, 100%.
Yeah.
He is our leader, and as many top class managers have said, he's one of the best captains they've ever come around.
Oh yeah.
I want to see Seamus Coleman in that World Cup 2026 squad when we qualify, and when Sinclair Armstrong wins us a penalty in the World Cup. I want to see Seamus Coleman at right back, and that's it.
Perry, like, Jesus Christ, like, delusional the Perry is.
No,
see, that's why
Kevin Moran went to World Cup.
He
went to World Cup at 38. Kevin Moran.
Kevin Moran did. Yeah, he didn't play though, did he?
No, that's what I'm saying. You can still.
After that disaster against Spain at home, the 3-1.
And who else? Stan went, didn't he? But to be fair, he played.
Yeah,
he was very old then, wasn't he?
He was 36, I think it was. I don't know. Yeah, but the difference is though, Seamus Coleman. We'll move on from this, but Seamus Coleman, because I get the last word because I'm the host. His body's breaking down. So there you go. Yeah, I'm sorry, lads. Just got to call it as I see it. But that's why you listen to me, because I'm the voice of
the man who retired, Robbie Brady.
Can I make an observation?
Robbie Brady.
Can I get one over in Dave, please, Brandy? Do I have your permission?
Give it your best shot, sweetheart.
Matt, as you say, Matt Doherty's last game for Wolverhampton Wanderers was a Premier League game on the 15th. On the 17th of, was it October or whatever it was, He played 90 minutes against Brighton in the Cup, which was his last game when he played against Evan Ferguson. And he actually got an assist that day. Evan Ferguson's first
I'm
start.
I'm reading it. Oh, sorry.
I think you're just looking at the Premier League. I think
I
you're
am.
looking at.
Do you know what? As you said it right, I was like, no, I'm looking, and then I've actually just scrolled up a little bit. It's got Premier League. I'm like, fuck.
There you go.
Have that.
You know what I was
Shane
going to say?
Dunphy.
I'm looking here. Oh, okay, fair enough. So he's played. So when was his last game?
17th, wasn't it?
And I said the 15th. Wow, so
2 days.
Just to bring this in though, again, it's like we're talking about the right hand side, which we always thought as a we're happy there in a way, and we used to always think the problem side was the left side. Now we're going to come on and talk about that now a bit, I'm sure. But you know, we've been just chatting for 5 minutes about Matt Doherty and Coleman being injured and stuff. But the left sides, I always think of that as our problem, like our long-term problem. But really, it's both sides. It's kind of worrying me now. Apart from the fact that we've now got Callum back in there and in scoring form, Dave. And yeah, I was very happy over the weekend when he got his goal. To be fair, it was a fantastic finish as well, and it just shows you what he does offer. And
yeah, but
and to be honest, from the last show, you know, the criticism of me not being on it, I did feel disrespected. So I do have a lot in common with Matt Doherty as well.
And why weren't you on the show, Martin? No, come on. Why? You know, why? Because he told me off air.
I had family commitments, Dave.
No,
I'm planning this. We've got a live show coming up, so it's been very, very busy. Doing a lot of work on that.
Martin, what happened?
I was with family. I was with my family. Sorry,
Why?
Dave.
What happened when we were sending the WhatsApps?
Oh, I think I fell asleep by that time.
Exactly. Fucking
to listen to one of your voice notes.
My dulcet tones. Yeah. Okay, Callum O'Dowd is in. He was asked, like, why him over Manning? All joking aside, Manning is a left back. He did say about Callum O'Dowd, as I said earlier on, I said Manning, we are observing him. He's close. We're monitoring. That's why I think he's probably going to get in over Seamus Coleman. Although that's probably why Doherty hasn't announced retirement, tweet or whatever. Because maybe he knew, well, actually Coleman was a bit of a doubt. Anyway, but he was asked about why do you prefer COD? He says, well, he knows what we're doing. He knows what we're about. Pretty much was, yet again, paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. I don't know. I think it's unfair on Ryan Manning because he's playing at the highest level and he's doing okay as a left back.
Yeah, but I get that point as well. But I think you've got to be consistently. I mean, Ryan Manning didn't do anything really last year, so and everyone was criticising. We've had conversations with him that he can't turn and he doesn't offer enough at that level.
Mobility is an issue.
He's having a good spell at the moment now, but I think the challenge is for him. They probably have seen enough about him, and I'm not saying it just because O'Dowd or whatever like that, but it's O'Dowd has been in around squads. He is definitely a squad player for Ireland. O'Dowd. I don't think he's against the top level opposition. They fancy him enough to start, but they know that they'll get 20 minutes out of him and he'll do very well for them and be solid. And that's how you reward those types of players. I think that's what they're going to do with him. So
okay,
that's where that is. But Manning, right, that's where he is with it.
Connor, put some manners on this fellow, will you? Come on.
Callum O'Dowd cannot defend. Neither can Ryan Manning. It's a tough choice between two. I'd go with the one playing us in the Premier League every week over his championship. But I wouldn't have been annoyed if the two of them were in the squad, to be honest. In the list I had made for predicted squad, I had the two of them down. And because there is one less defender in the squad, I believe. But what I can see happening is O'Dowd could possibly start against Finland because they're not the threat. And then I think England away, we could see a back four of four centre halves of O'Shea, Collins, Duffy, and then Scales at left back, which is my worst nightmare. Liam Scales at left back is my worst nightmare of all nightmares. The man cannot turn, and he will just get done in behind. The Saka against him is my worst nightmare. So I'm not too arsed, to be honest, about the left back situation. I think Manning should be there, but I let Prendy have this one and keep him happy because we need some joy in the camp.
Keep him awake.
That England game will be very similar to Portugal before the Euros. in that they'll have a lot of the ball, they'll open us up at will, and we've got to be really solid.
No, they won't.
That's probably
a
why
lot
Shane
better.
Duffy's gone. That's probably
No, that's why we've got to be
Shane-
solid, though. I'm saying that if we don't get it right, they will open us up at will.
We'll be a
And
lot better
that's
set
where I
up.
think we will
I
be.
think
Yeah.
that
Now
that's
I
why
think we
Shane
will.
Duffy's in, isn't he? Because he probably thinks I need somebody who's going to
defend
be
first.
yeah.
And he did play O'Dowd at Wembley previously in the lockdown game. So I'm just saying that. But one thing I would say about this squad, we'll come on obviously and talk about the two lads who've come in, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about them. But we get a lot of, obviously we're a fan chat, a fan podcast, and we all have interest and we're going to be at the games and everything. But I do get quite frustrated with, like, Connor, you do a fantastic job with talking about players who, it's not hype, it's not the hype train, but I do get frustrated when I hear, oh, I'm really disappointed he's not going to come in, or throwing out names that are just random, like just because you want that person to kind of make it, right? I can't have that. Like, they're not gonna open up that squad and make wholesale changes. They're just not. And that's my point. I want to hear later on from you, Connor, just to say, from the under 21 age that's finished now, I think we are seeing the lads who've come in there now, but you're not going to get any massive, big, earth-shattering. Where's this player come from?
It's funny. Like, you've been doing that for years with Callum. I'll tell you. But anyway,
I haven't.
Can I make a point?
No, I haven't. No.
Can I make a point in Callum O'Dowd and Ryan Manning, which
could
be quite reasonable before we move on? Is that John O'Shea was a part of the Stephen Kenny management era, which never rated Ryan Manning whatsoever, never called him up for ages. And when I called him up, played him, was it a half against, was it Greece at home? And John O'Shea obviously has a say in how the squad's picked. And I'd imagine his opinion on Ryan Manning probably went far on this in that sense.
Yeah, there you go. That's an interesting take. We spent enough time in the defenders' lands. We're going to move it on to the midfield. So there you go. Josh Cullen, Jason Knight, Jason Malumbi, Finn Azaz, and Andy Moran. The only the only person to talk about there. We know everything about what there is to know, easy for me to say, other than, of course, Andy Moran. He comes in, he's on loan at Stoke. Connor, you're the man to tell us a bit about this lad. What can we expect from this youngster?
Probably the best player you'll ever see in your life. No, I don't want to say that. That's a bit extreme, but Andy Moran's probably my favorite Irish player to watch. He's a joy. He is a joy to watch. He's just one of them players that we don't produce very often. And number 10, get the ball in the half turn, makes things happen. It creates. He can score. He has an unbelievable engine for some. And despite him being so slight, he doesn't get bullied, which he did a wee bit last season in the Championship when he was at Blackburn at loan. But now, since he's gone to Stoke this year, he seems to have really developed from that year of it was more of a development year really at Blackburn, and he's been playing more as a number 8 to start the season off, which is mainly because Boston Lowell has been out injured and they haven't had the option, so he's had to drop a bit deeper. With obviously Boston's back out in grass next week, which is great news. Someone we badly need to bring in once he's fit. But I think Andy will be a difference maker for our country over the next 10, 15 years, hopefully.
Yeah.
Someone in terms of underage players that plays for Ireland, he's probably the best over the last 5-6 years, in my opinion.
Martin, just quickly on Andy Moran, the manager had to say this. Andy's a young player. He was a good engine, good pressing, gets back into shape. Pretty much what you were saying, Connor. He wasn't selected due to the under-21s and wants to evaluate him. So do we believe the hype of this lad?
Yeah, I believe Connor. I trust Connor more than you. And yeah. No, look, it's what we want to see. And again, I like this. The under-21 group was quite close to getting there. And he was influential in that group. And I want to see that happen now. Yeah, he's going to make Connor.
Yeah, you're going to say him off now. Jesus Christ.
Stress disorder.
Well, these youngsters are like, they cry at anything, Martin. Fucking snowflakes.
Yeah. So, I'm excited to see him. Whether and I think like Heimer's been really brave, I think, or very decisive with the Doherty situation. I think this is good as well. Bring him in, give him a game against Finland, give him time, and then just unleash him if he just shows naturally that he's ready. Give him a bit of time against England. Nothing to lose because we are getting ready for that next qualification campaign. So we might as well blood them now. You've
Start
got
him.
nothing to lose against England, so it's definitely something to do there.
Free hit, isn't it?
Give him the ball.
Give him the ball.
Start.
Watch him go.
Just
Right.
make things happen.
Don't doubt me. Don't doubt me, Connor. On to the forwards. Evan Ferguson, no real surprises here. Evan Ferguson, Troy Parr, Adamida, Tom Cannon, Sammy Simonich, Festi Ebasela, Casey McAteer, Mikey Johnson. We pretty not much know about those. One of the questions, though, that was asked, obviously, Festi is down as a forward. He was down as a defender in the last squad. And actually, Hamer mentioned that, didn't he, Connor? He turned around and said, well, Kieran's, I don't know where he's put him because he could play anywhere, defense, midfield, and up front. But that you said actually that is his actual position.
Yeah, he's more of an attacker than he's a defender. Obviously, he is a wing back at the end of the day. That is his what you'd pinpoint as number one position. But a lot of wing backs, as you know, are wingers that are converted into so-called defenders. In a sense, I've watched a lot of Festi lately, and defensively he has been very good, to be honest. But he does switch off at times defensively because I think his thought process most of the time is just give me the ball and let me run at men and go forward. But I do think his best position is still as a wing back. Obviously, I'd say winger number 2 and fullback number 3, but he is only 22, so he's still constantly developing. And I have no doubts if he played right back against Finland that he would do a good job.
Yeah.
And because I don't think Finland could have the ability to expose him, which I think England probably would, because they would probably double up on that left hand side by putting a lot of pressure on him, especially when if he plays right wing for us against England, the way he can come back, help whoever plays O'Shea right back out, and he offers you a big threat coming on the counter attack. So I'm not too worried where he's been listed on the squad announcement. That was Kieran's decision, but no, I still think his best position is higher up the pitch.
Fair.
Dave, sorry, Dave. Do you think Dave will drop into a low block against England?
What's your predicted XG?
Jesus Christ. Do you know what? He's actually staying with me. It was kind of funny. I'm going to share this story. He's staying with me in London, and he was trying to defend Eric Ten Hag. He's going to kill me if he listens to this. He's trying to defend Eric Ten Hag, just indefensible. Let's be honest. United fan, and I think we're just like, it's done, it's over. It's like, no, it's not his fault. Like we have the highest XG in the league, and we're just like, fucking XG, this guy, bless him. And always just makes me laugh. Sorry, if I won't mention his name. He's probably going to swing for me now when he sees me. Tom Cannon, Martin, just to finish up on the squad. He is obviously, there's no Michael Obafemi. Still not doing enough. Obviously, Aaron Connolly. Oh, here's one actually, chaps. Sorry. Aaron Connolly. He said he hadn't heard the interview about Aaron Connolly, but he said he was a very brave young man, pretty much to come out and talk about his issues there, Martin. But obviously it's too soon for him, isn't it, to be anywhere near that squad?
It is, yeah. And to be fair, as I always said, Callum Robinson's had a bit of a thing with scoring a few goals. Obafemi scored as well. It's a little kind of trigger in the mind of the manager that they're still relevant, but they've got to be doing it more consistently, week in, week out. And Evan's going to be the future. Cannon coming in there as well is going to be another one. I'm really excited to see him linking up with him. And, I know he hasn't been in great form, and we can't be saddened too much about missing Ogbene, but I think he's going to be a big loss. But it opens up opportunities for other players, and that's what it's about, isn't it, football? And I think we'll be competitive in both games. I think we've got to get the job done against Finland, and I'm hoping that Evan will have a really good camp in this one, because I think he needs a goal for Ireland again and a really good performance.
Absolutely. So that's the squad. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Are you happy with it? We are going to be live, by the way, on Monday. We know we've been a bit shy with the lives. I said. We will be live on Monday. We're going to have a window preview. Preview. Christ, I'm sounding American. We're going to have a window preview. We will be live. We're going to be on Twitter We're going to be on Facebook. We're going to be on YouTube. So join us for that time. Keep an eye on the old socials. We'll decide a time there, but we are going to be live. We're going to get your comments. We want to hear your thoughts on this squad. And we're going to get your thoughts on the window up ahead. So do stay tuned for that. I suppose a bit of business, actually, Martin, a bit of window business, really. We've got a live show coming up. I can't really talk about it too much on Facebook because Facebook put a block on it for infringement, even though we own the anyway. But yes, we've got the Lansdowne Legends on the 15th November, Martin. Tell us what's going down.
Yeah, this is our preview night for the England game. Actually, going to be a great weekend that weekend for anyone coming over to London. Myself and Dave, we do live in London, and we know everywhere there is good to go. Obviously, the Cladder Ring is going to be our base, but the London Irish Centre are hosting us there with the Lansdowne Legends, where we've got Ian Hart, Alan Kelly, and Clinton Morrison doing a preview of the England game on the Friday the 15th. Tickets £28.50. The proceeds from that night are going towards the London Irish Centre, so a charity close to our hearts, and they do some great work in the London Irish community, as we've said. We've got some memorabilia on sale for the night as well. And yeah, it'd be great to see as many of the Raw faithful as possible come along. We'll put the link in on the show just so you can get your tickets. But we're also going to be having an amazing weekend there. We're in the Cladder Ring on Saturday, Sunday as well. The match at Wembley. You're going to be in the stadium, lads. And, that's going to really kickstart a fantastic weekend, obviously getting the 3 points in Dublin against Finland.
You put the markers on it there. Yeah, as Martin said, on the 15th, we are going to be in the London Irish Centre. Tickets are on sale in the link below. If you can't make it and you want to do something good, why not buy a ticket in absentia? That means Connor, if you're not attending, buy a ticket anyway.
Connor is attending, isn't he? Connor's attending.
Yeah, I know he's attending.
I'm
just trying to educate the young lad, Martin. I'm trying to teach him a
darts
new
on
word.
that night. I've darts match on that night. I can't go.
See, that's what I do here. Like, I'm teaching the young lad. I teach him a new word every episode.
You've taught me a few new footballers tonight. Shane Dunphy. I'll have to research him.
Yeah, and you didn't know Sinclair Armstrong was in the squad either, did you? But there you go. See, I have to put up with it. Jesus, it's like fucking zig and zag at times. So anyway, yes, just buy a ticket. Come and meet me, the star of Lansdowne Roar, and meet the other two roustabouts over there. We'll all be there. It's going to be a fantastic night. And then, of course, if you're not going to make it the Friday, maybe buy a ticket anyway, even if you can't make it, because it's going to be it's gone to a great cause. Head over to the Cladder Ring on the 16th. If you're looking for somewhere for a good night out in London and you're only going in on the 16th, go to the Cladder Ring. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to be there with Ian Hart, the three of us there again. It's going to be great music. It's a great pub, by the way, and there's some good people there. It's a little bit of Ireland, really, in the north of London, and it's fantastic. And then, of course, on the Sunday, we're there again. So if you're looking for anywhere to go and you don't want to bother with all the big bench shite, come to the Cladder Ring and we'll have a bit of crack. It will be. It's going to be brilliant.
It will be like just as well. We've got KitCon on during the Saturday, and Ian Hart coming down, and Finbar there, the host at the Cladder Ring. Just if anyone is thinking, it's a bit far from Wembley, he's actually putting on coaches. So do go on their socials, check out. We posted them as well. You can. I think he's going to open up the coach booking up till Sunday this week. So Sunday the 10th. So do that. Book your seats on the coach. Get to the Cladder Ring, free entry, food all day, bands. Everything you want. £5 Guinness, £5 Guinness Zero for Dave. I'll be on the proper stuff, but
Dave's gonna be wankered.
The show. And, really looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be amazing, and it's a brilliant opportunity for us to obviously meet the Raw faithful, get Risk London out there, meet KitCon guys. It's just loads and loads of stuff coming together, and we're looking forward to seeing everyone.
And we can get some lemonade for Connor as well, because you're not of age, so
water,
a packet of crisps and some red lemonade for you, Connor.
Thank you.
Sitting in the corner there. I can't. Connor traveling to London on his own. It's a bit like Paddington Bear, isn't it? Like it's just I'm a bit worried about
if you see this lad.
If you see him, London.
Yeah.
What country is London?
Exactly. God help him. God knows where Connor's going to end up. Anyway, lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Connor. So thank you for watching at home. As I said, if you haven't subscribed already, please head over scan the QR code, please like the video, and we are trying to grow the channel. Connor and I are going to be live from both stadiums for the pre-game, post-match, after-match, everything. It's the usual stuff. We're going to have a window preview on Monday, not a preview, and it's going to be fantastic. The international window starts here tonight, and there's only one place to be, and that's Lansdowne Roar. Good night.